Kyrie Irving is a Laker, or at least that's what a lot of people want. If you don't know already, today Shams announced that Kyrie Irving requested a trade from the Brooklyn Nets. So why did he request a trade? So the Nets are 4th in the East. They have a 31-20 record, and before Kevin Durant got hurt, they were 2nd in the East. So everything seems to be going smoothly, right? But Kyrie is a free agent this summer, and he wants a monster contract extension for the next few years. And the Nets don't want to give him that contract extension, or if they do, they want to put in some protections. So Kyrie has had plenty of controversy over the past few years. He's missed games for no reason, he just walks away, and he's missed games for other reasons, and he's missed games for suspension. So the Nets want to put in some protections for the team that say, hey, if you don't play this many games, your pay gets cut down from here to here. And so Kyrie doesn't like that, his agent doesn't like that, and they basically told the Nets, hey, if you're not going to give me this money, I want to go elsewhere, trade me. And so in this video, we're going to be going over 6 realistic Kyrie Irving trades. Alright, so this is the first trade. This is Kyrie Irving and Joe Harris to the Nets for Russell Westbrook and a first round pick. So in this trade, Kyrie is getting reunited with LeBron, so that's fun. And they're also getting Joe Harris. So the Lakers are currently 27th in the league in 3-point shooting. That's awful. While the Nets are 2nd in the league in 3-point shooting. So a big disparity there. So trading away Joe Harris wouldn't really affect the Nets shooting that much, because he's kind of lowered himself down in the rotation just with his play. He hasn't been playing that well compared to previous years, but he's still a 40% 3-point shooter, and that would still be the best on the Lakers. So if you're the Nets, this isn't really that appealing. If you had the choice, you'd probably not trade Kyrie and just say, hey, okay, you're gonna walk, but we're gonna contend this year. But it sounds like Kyrie's demanding a trade. He's saying, hey, if you don't trade me, I'm not going to play. And if that's the case, they really don't have a choice. They have to trade him. And Russell Westbrook, he's going to lower the ceiling from where they were with Kyrie, but he's still a player. He can still play. And you'd be getting a first-round pick that could potentially be really valuable. I know I tossed a little top 5 protection on that. That's just in case for the Lakers if they want some insurance, but of course that can change. And so for the next trade, we have another Lakers trade, but this time a lot more complex and a lot more fun. This is my favorite trades out of any of them. So in this one, the Nets get Mike Conley, Kelly Olynyk, and Jared Vanderbilt, while the Lakers get Kyrie Irving, and the Jazz get Russ, a first-round pick from the Lakers, and a first-round pick for the Nets that's coming from Philly via the James Harden trade. So in this trade, the Jazz would be saying, hey, look, this little group of random misfits coming from all over the place. It was fun. It was fun being in kind of playoff contention, playing in contention. But we want to bottom out a little bit. We want to try to get a good draft pick this year, and that makes sense. And so they'd be just trying to sell off some of their assets, some of their role players. So Mike Conley would be going to the Nets and being their new starting point guard. Mike Conley, he's old, but he can still play. He can still start. He can still be a good veteran there. And Kelly Olynyk, very underrated. Not many people are talking about him, but he's having one of the best years of his career. He's a stretch 5. He could shoot. He can move a little bit. He's not really the best defender, but that's fine. They have Nicholas Claxton. It just adds more versatility in that front court. And they're also getting Jared Vanderbilt. So if I'm the Jazz, I would be a little hesitant to trade Vanderbilt, especially if you're initiating a rebuild, because he's only 23, and he still has some more potential left, but he's a really good defender. He's a really good rebounder. He hustles. He does all the stuff that you want, especially in the playoffs. So he would be a great addition for the Nets. The Lakers, in this case, they just get Kyrie. They just reunite him with LeBron. They want Kyrie. They're getting him. They're not really giving up that much either, just Russ and a first. And then the Jazz, they're getting Russ and those 2 firsts. So they probably wouldn't play Russ at all, especially with all the arguing he's had with the fans over the years. And so they'd either buy him out, or he'd just sit and wait for free agency and for next summer. So yeah, this is my favorite one. But next we have Kyrie to the Mavericks. So the Mavericks are really missing Jalen Brunson. They're definitely regretting letting him walk. He's been great this year, but they're getting another ball handler, another star to put alongside Luka in this trade. So The Nets are getting JaVale McGee, Spencer Dinwiddie, and Dorian Finney-Smith. So McGee signed a considerable contract with the Mavericks this summer, like $17 million for 3 years, and they don't play him at all. And so he's 35 years old. He's old. He has a lot of miles on him, but he's a good vet. He's a 3-time champion. That means something. And you know, the Nets don't have the greatest front court depth. They have Nicholas Claxton, who's good, but after that, it's a little questionable at the center position. So JaVale McGee, just some insurance there, and then they're getting Spencer Dinwiddie back in this trade, just reuniting them. I don't know how he'd feel about that, but he could play point guard there. And they're also getting Dorian Finney-Smith. Dorian Finney-Smith has kind of regressed this year from where he was last year. Last year, he was a great 3-and-D guy for the Mavs. This year, his efficiency has dropped down. His defense has dropped down, but he's still a starter. He still starts for the Mavericks. He could start for the Nets too, potentially, if they want. And he's a good role player. And the Mavs are getting Kyrie, of course, and I threw Patty Mills in there. You know, Patty Mills, he doesn't have to be in this trade, but he's just a guy you could have. You know, he's not really in the rotation for Brooklyn at this point, so maybe just throw him in there, change the scenery. Maybe he could do something for you. All right, next we have Kyrie to the Heat. So the Heat are another team that's kind of been linked with the Nets a little bit. So the Nets would be getting Kyle Lowry and Dwayne Dedmon and Gabe Vincent, and the Heat would just be getting Kyrie. So Kyle Lowry, he's kind of regressed a little bit this year, but he still starts for them. He still plays solid. Not quite the Kyle Lowry of old, but still solid. And he would be filling in that point guard role that Kyrie Levin would open in Brooklyn. And they'd also get Gabe Vincent, who he can play some point guard too. So just some more versatility there. And Dwayne Dedmon, the Nets, after Nicholas Claxton, their center position is really sketchy. So Dwayne Dedmon, you know, just added insurance there. And then with the Heat, you know, they're taking a risk. You know, Kyle Lowry, he's not the best, but there's no drama with Kyle Lowry. He's great. He's a great locker room guy, and he has playoff experience. But with Kyrie, that just elevates the ceiling of the team so much more. He's just Kyrie Irving, Jimmy Butler, and Bam Adebayo in the playoffs. That's a scary team right there. You know, it would be a little concerning Kyrie Irving and Tyler Hero in the backcourt for defensive reasons, but you know, Kyle Lowry's not the best defender at this point in his career either. So next trade is Kyrie to Los Angeles, but this time the Clippers. So the Clippers have been wanting a point guard this year. They've been looking at Fred VanVleet a lot, but Kyrie Irving's better than Fred VanVleet. We can all agree on that. But they would have to give up more too, potentially, or not actually. So the Nets would be getting Reggie Jackson, who they'd be playing at point guard now, Robert Covington, and Luke Kennard, while the Clippers get Kyrie in the second. I just threw a second in there because the Clippers are giving up a lot of like rotational players or guys who can be in a rotation somewhere else. So Robert Covington, I say that because Robert Covington has like fallen out of the Clippers rotation. So Robert Covington, he's a really good defender. You know, he guards probably 2, 3, 4 very well, but the Clippers just have so much depth, especially at the wing, that they're not even really playing him at this point. And the Nets would also be getting Luke Kennard, who's a great shooter. He's a great shooter, but he's more than a shooter. He can create his own shot. He can pass a little bit. So the Clippers, to make the trade work, they really need 3 of these little like 11, 12, $13 million contracts, and they have plenty of them. So if you don't like these 3 guys, you can mix and match it a little bit, but I would say Reggie Jackson's definitely a lock for this trade. My last trade is to the Phoenix Suns for Chris Paul and Jay Crowder. So Matt Ishbia, the new owner of the Suns, he's getting the team officially in the next few days, and he wants to make a big swing. A lot of new owners do. They want to make a statement. They want to say, hey, I'm here. But and this would be that. So Chris Paul, he's really established that championship culture in Phoenix, but he's kind of regressed, especially this year. He's hurt. We saw that in the playoffs. He's always hurt. But with Kyrie, you know, he's Kyrie still. He's still that guy. So that elevates the ceiling there. So the Nets would also be getting Jay Crowder. Jay Crowder hasn't played a game this year. He wants to trade from Phoenix anyway. So If not to Brooklyn, he's gonna go somewhere else. But yeah. So if you're the Nets, you know, you're still getting Chris Paul, who can still throw up lobs, especially to Nicholas Claxton. I think that would be pretty good. I think that would be great for them. And Jay Crowder, who's a rotational guy that they could just play. So those are my 6 trades for Kyrie Irving. Let me know in the comment section down below if you like my trades, or in fact, let me know where you want to see Kyrie get traded or where you think he'll get traded. Like always, I'm Lance with Ball Withdrawal. If you enjoyed the video, like, subscribe, comment, and keep an eye out for future videos, and I'll see you then. Thanks.